Hi, 7th graders. So we're going to go through a couple of quick examples on how you can use the additive inverse to solve equations. And then you can use the ideas from this video to help you with the rest of the lesson. So we're going to go through 3 problems together. The first one is x plus 2 equals 20. So whenever you're given an algebraic expression, the first thing to do is stop and notice. This is saying something plus 2 is 20, so we can actually think about what this must be. It's 18, but what we're going to do is see how the additive inverse works to show that algebraically. So our goal here is to know what x is. So we want to get x totally by itself, and we want to get this to 0 so that our x is alone. What we know is that the additive inverse of a plus 2 is minus 2. So these together make 0, which would get us only our x value. However, it's saying that x plus 2 is equal to 20. So if they're equal and we subtract 2 from one side, we have to subtract 2 from the other side. So let's subtract 2 from over here. 20 minus 2, sure enough, is 18. So that's a pretty basic way of how to use the additive inverse to solve an equation. So now let's start using our negative numbers. What if the equation was negative 3 plus x equals negative 14. So here our number sense might not be as strong because now we're talking about negative numbers, but we could use our additive inverse to figure out what this x is by getting it by itself. So the additive inverse of negative 3 is plus 3. So now these cancel out to 0. But if I add 3 to one side, I have to add 3 to the other side to keep the relationship equal. So here I have my x by itself, and then I have to think about what's negative 14 plus 3. Since my negative number is bigger, I'm going to end up with a negative answer, but I'm going to treat it like subtraction. So 14 minus 3 is 11. So if we were at negative 14 on the number line, and we moved up by 3, 1, 2, 3. Sure enough, we would end up at negative 11. Okay, the last example is going to involve fractions because your lesson today will also have this idea with fractions. So let's make sure that we feel confident about that. So example 3 is 1/2 plus x equals 5/2. So once again, our goal here is to figure out what is this mystery value. What is our x? So we want to get a 0 here by using our additive inverse. So the additive inverse of a plus 1/2 is minus 1/2. So if I subtract it from one side, I have to do it to the other. So now I have 5/2 minus 1/2. And that's going to leave me with 4/2. So connects back to what we did. 4/2 means that you have 2 whole. So here our answer is 2. So 1/2 plus 2 would be 2.5, which is in fact 5/2. As always, send me an email if you have questions, and I will be happy to help you in any way I can. Okay, bye.